Welcome to the AFR Saints channel, where we provide you daily content on your favorite team, the New Orleans Saints. Do us a favor and hit that subscribe button. Be sure to leave your comments below and smash that like button. Who dat? One of the big conversations around the Saints roster the past several months has been Marshon Lattimore's future with the New Orleans Saints. And Mickey Loomis went on the Adam Sheen show on Sirius XM, part of Mad Dog Radio, and just was asked point blank about Lattimore, and he says they are not trying. We'll just give a listen. Here's Loomis.
Look, when a guy's a really good player for your team, they're not on the market per se. But there are times when you get a call and somebody makes a proposal and it might make sense for you. That's true for any player on our team. You know, if you get an offer you can't refuse, you at least have to look at it. And so that's what I would say. I'm not actively trying to trade Marshon. Marshon's such a good player. He's an elite corner. He's had some injuries the last couple seasons that have kept him, off the field. And, we've got to get over that. It's not his fault. It's just circumstances. And so, that's just where we're at.
So Loomis says they're not actively trying to trade Marshon Lattimore. I want to delve into this a little deeper, but let me first just give you a little bit of a timeline. If you're just hearing that and going, why are we talking about trading Marshon Lattimore? Yes, they drafted Kool-Aid McKinstry, but follow back with what Loomis has said. So this was in January, okay? In January, Loomis was asked about Lattimore's the contract and what it meant for his future in New Orleans.
What's the thinking behind the timing of reworking Marshon Lattimore's bonus, like while the season was still going on, and making it an option bonus? Obviously some of those come
it's just cap management. I don't want to get into the details of it.
But there wasn't a purpose to be like that.
There's a purpose. I'm not going to tell you what the purpose is. It's just cap management. That's what it is.
Cap management. Okay, so that got a lot of people's antennas up, because the way the deal was structured is that, and I don't want to lose you with this because I know not everybody really cares deeply about contract structure, and it's just like who's on the team, who's not. But ultimately, Marshon Lattimore for 2024, his cap hit is $14.6 million. It means if he's on the roster, he costs you $14.6 million. If he's not on the roster, he costs you $31.2 million. That's his dead cap number, okay? So if he's not on the roster, it's $31.2 million, okay? But here's the interesting part about how they structured it. When they structured it, there are always these sort of addendums for if you have a pre or post June 1st trade or release. Well, if the Saints were to trade or release Marshon Lattimore after June 1 this year, the number goes down to 10.6 from 14 to 10, right? His cap hit goes from 14 to 10 million. And the dead number, I'm sorry, forgive me. The dead number goes from 31 million down to 10 million. So if you were to trade or release Marshon Lattimore after June 1, so means he would not be on the team. You wouldn't be hit with that $31 million cap hit. Your cap hit would be $10 million. Now remember, if he's on the roster, it costs you 14. So either way, the point being that financially, it would make sense. Now, next year, you could off-ramp off of Lattimore's deal as well, but if you trade him post-June 1 this year, the number would be $20 million next year, whereas his cap number next year is $31 million. So either way, point being, to boil it down, the way they structured his deal is that they could trade or release Marshon Lattimore after June 1 this year, and they'd save money this year and next year. It's basically how it's structured now. So that when Loomis was pressed, that's why he was pressed about it. And he just kept saying, oh, it's cap, it's cap. Well, it's cap in the event that he's not on the team. Well, he was asked point blank, as all these conversations started happening, he was asked before the draft about Lattimore being on the team for 2024.
Mickey, do you feel like pretty confident that Marshon Lattimore is going to be on this roster this year?
Yeah, okay, confident. Well, that's the day, 2 days before the draft, and then they draft Kool-Aid McKinstry. So then all of the conversations start coming back up about, well, are they really going to move on from Lattimore because they now drafted McKinstry. What do we always say? Actions speak louder than words. You can tell me, well, it's a cap thing and you expect Lattimore to be on the team, but then you go trade up in round 2 to take a cornerback, and it makes you look and go, maybe they are looking at trading Lattimore. So back to the interview on Mad Dog Radio, Loomis was asked, what drafting McKinstry in the second round means for Lattimore and his future in New Orleans.
Yeah, it doesn't mean anything. Marshon's been a really good player for us for a good period of time. He's one of the leaders of our team. And look, it's just like I said, we can use as many corners as we can get. And we've got a good group, a really good group, and they're going to help each other and they're going to help our team win.
Okay, this may surprise you, but I actually believe Mickey Loomis there. I think they saw a player they had rated much higher than 41 overall, had a chance to go get him, and so they did. And it was prudent because you saw the run coming on cornerbacks, and they saw a guy they wanted, and so they took him. And it's true that you can never have too many cornerbacks. That's just not a real thing in the NFL. The NFL is, as we all know, becoming a more offensive and pass-centric league. Okay, well, how do you defend the pass? You rush the passer, and you have really good cornerbacks. So you look at where the Saints are right now, and you've got 3 guys in Lattimore, Adebo, and Alontae Taylor, all of whom have had injury issues. Marshon Lattimore has been in the league since 2017. He has played 1 full season. Now, I'm not bagging on Marshon Lattimore. Let me be very clear. Marshon Lattimore is the best cornerback in this franchise's history. Full stop. There is no conversation. There is no discussion. Marshon Lattimore is the best cornerback in franchise history. Period. You want a healthy Marshon Lattimore on your team. The problem is, in 7 years, Lattimore's played 1 full season. That was his second year in the league. In the last 2 years, Lattimore has played in 7 games in 2022 and 10 games this past year, meaning in the last 2 seasons, he has missed 17 games, which is a full season. Same as Marcus May, who you just cut. Now, Marcus May at his best has never been as good as Lattimore, and they play a different position. But you're still talking about a guy that has missed a ton of time the last 2 years. Paulson Adebo played every game as a rookie, then went 13 games, then 15 games a year ago. So he has missed time. Alontae Taylor, as a rookie, played in just 13 games. Last year, played a full season. Point is, all 3 of your primary cornerbacks have missed time. And Lattimore, the oldest of the 3, has missed the most, including 17 games combined over the last 2 years. So it is prudent for Mickey Loomis and the New Orleans Saints to see a great value at cornerback and say, let's go get that guy. I'm wholeheartedly on board with drafting Kool-Aid McKinstry. And it didn't have to be Kool-Aid. If it's a player, a cornerback that they felt they had great value on and could be a starter, awesome. The other thing this allows you is options after this season. Even if Lattimore plays this year, there's no guarantee Lattimore, Adebo, or Taylor all stay healthy for 17 games. They've shown you they can't. So odds are McKinstry's going to play a lot this year. That's number one. Number two, it gives you options next year. Because the way Lattimore's contract is structured is that even if he does play on the team this year, the off-ramp is built next year, meaning you don't have to wait until post-June 1, and you don't have to worry about, do you have a trade partner? Lattimore's contract next year, he's owed $31.4 million. The dead cap number is $20.6. So you'd save $11 million next year by not having Marshon Lattimore on your team for 2025. So you could off-ramp out of this contract next year. And then you've got McKinstry ready to go. You've also got Paulson Adebo in a contract year. What if you don't want to pay Adebo before this year? You want to see how it plays out. Let's say Adebo has an awesome season and the suitors are lined up, ready to break the bank. Well, you don't have to match it because you've got Kool-Aid McKinstry. I get it. I think drafting him made an awful lot of sense. Mickey Loomis said point blank that he is not actively shopping Marshon Lattimore. He's not actively trying to trade him. I believe him. But he also said if you get the offer you can't refuse, you listen. And that may happen come post-June 1 because it would make sense financially. the Saints could recoup assets, and you have a young player like Kool-Aid McKinstry that could step in. And if it doesn't, okay. You make it make sense because of the way you structured the deal this year. You can off-ramp next year and make your decision with what you want to do. It makes a lot of sense. And I believe Mickey Loomis. They're not actively shopping him. They listen if they got a great offer. And I think having Kool-Aid McKinstry not only does it mean he will play this year, and is a great insurance policy for potential injury this year, and for what you do with Lattimore and Adebo next year. Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact. And be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.